Okay, this video is for, I'm actually going to do two objectives in this one. I'm going to do objective 16 and 17. They're very similar in what you do for the math for these objectives. So again, this is in your money textbook, so if you don't have that, hit pause, go grab that, and it'll be on page 27. Objective 16 starts. Okay, so objective 16 is solving a problem involving a tip. A tip is something you give like a server or someone that helps you at a business when they're supplying a service. This is something that gets added on to the regular cost and is most commonly based off a percentage. So we are going to use things we've learned this year with percentages. And the main idea that we are going to use is the idea that we did this before. A part, when you're finding a part, which a tip is going to be part of your total, percent of your total, is going to be the percentage as a decimal. Sorry, it takes a little while to write that. Percent as a decimal times whatever the whole is. So if they say 20% of your bill, you would change 20% to a decimal, times it by whatever the bill is, and that gives you your tip. So let's take a look at these problems. Number 39, a customer at a restaurant feels the service was not very good. He decides to leave only a 5% tip. How much is a 5% tip on a bill for $12.80? So we are going to we need to figure out. Let me draw a line here. So what we're actually figuring out here is 5% of $12.80. So this goes back to our percent problems. After the word of is the whole, which is $12.80. We want to find a percent of that. So we're going to take percent times the whole. Now this question only asks for how much the tip is, not for what the total bill is. So it's just a one-step problem. We change 5%. So remember, 5%, you go 1, 2, any open spot, you put a 0. So 5% is 0.05 times $12.80 is 64 cents. Okay. Let's take a look at number 40. Number 40, the bill for a meal at a restaurant was $49.50. They felt the staff was very helpful, so they decided to leave at least a 20% tip. So now make sure we read the statement in the question here. It says they calculated the amount of the 20% tip, added it to the bill, and rounded the total up to the next whole dollar. How much did they pay including the tip? So take our process here. We have the bill, $49.50. We're going to add to that 20% of the bill. So it's just like what we did in number 39 is the second half here. We change 20% to 0.2 or 0.20. We have to multiply that times the bill to get what the tip is. So now, especially when you're using your phone calculator, you have to do the order operations here. So you have to do this multiplication first. We're going to take 0.20 times 49.50 is 9.90. Now you can just leave that in your calculator because the next step is adding. It doesn't matter the order. You can hit just 9.90 plus 49.50 is 59.40. And then the last part is they say they round up to the next dollar amount. So it's not just rounding. If you just rounded, it would be to $59, which isn't a choice here. So you should get the right answer anyways. But they say round up to the next dollar, so $60. Okay. Number 41. Two friends had dinner together. One friend's bill was $18.55. He added a 20% tip and rounded that up to the next whole dollar. The other friend was $21.45 and she added a 15% tip and then rounded her total up to the next whole dollar. How much did they spend for dinner in all? So it's basically asking whatever they gave and spent, add them together, and how much did they pay in all. So the first friend, or the one friend, we do just like we did it above. We have $18.55, the 20% tip of that $18.55. You're going to see the same number appear here and here, just like we did up in this one, the 49.50s here and here, because you're taking the whole amount plus a percent of that amount. So now we take the order operations, so we take 0.20 times 18.55, gives us 3.71. We add that to the regular amount, we get 22.26. We're going to round that up to the next dollar, which is 23. So the first person pays $23. The other friend has a bill of $21.45. She leaves a 15% tip, so we start with $21.45, add 15% of that, so 0.15 times $21.45. We multiply this first. When you multiply those two together, you're going to get 3.2175. Even though that's too many numbers for money after the decimal, I'm just leaving it right there. I'm going to add the 21.45, and then I'm going to round after. Okay, so that when you add it, you get 24.6675, which if we had to be exact for money, we would round, look at that number, look at the number next to it. So we'd round to $24.67, but it says round up to the next whole dollar. So either way, that person's going to round up to $25. Okay. We add the two together, 23 and 25 is 48. That's our answer. Okay. 42. These I might go through a little quicker. They're very similar. 42, hired an airport shuttle. The bill was $59.70. They added a 10% tip and enough extra to bring the total up to the next whole dollar. So again, they're just rounding it up to the next whole dollar. So just like the last problem, the amount, the bill was $59.70, and we're going to add 10% of that $59.70. So order operations, say multiply first. So 0.10 times $59.70 is $5.97. We then add the $59.70 and the $5.97, comes to $65.67. They said they're going to bring it up to the next whole dollar. So if I haven't explained this yet, whole dollar means no cents on there. You just move it up to the next, basically rounding to the one spot, is $66, letter C. Okay, 43, very similar problem. Having a haircut and beard trim, it was $22. He included a 25% tip, rounded up to the next whole dollar. So basically exact same problem. $22 bill, 25% tip, so you're taking 0.25 times that $22 bill. You order operations, multiply first, you get 5.5, or if you want to say $5.50, it's the same thing. You add that to the original $22, it comes to $27.50. They say go up to the next whole dollar, it's $28. And the last one in objective 16, it says the fare for a taxi cab ride is $14.90. The passenger rounds the fare to $15. So we gotta follow this along correctly. This time, instead of rounding after, they first round in the beginning. So they say $14.90, that's close to 15. Then they add a 10% tip, which makes the math easier, you'll see in a second, and then rounds that total up to the next whole dollar. It says how much more than the fare does she give the driver? So there's a lot going on here. So let's first just figure out how much she gives the driver. So it says the passenger rounds the fare to 15. So they're saying, okay, this costs about 15. They're going to give a 10% tip. So 10% of 15. Okay, so we're going to add that much on. Order operations say we have to multiply these first. So 0.10 times 15 gives us $1.50. Then we add that $1.50 for the tip plus the $15 original, and that's going to be $16.50. Then it says rounds the total to the nearest whole dollar. So again, they round that up again to $17. So that's the amount that she gave the taxi driver. Okay, now the question is, how much more than the fare does she give the driver? So the fare was the $14.90. Okay, let me erase that just in case doing that later. Is the $14.90. So she gave 17. We want to know how much more than $14.90 is that. So we subtract, and so she actually gave him $2.10 more than she needed to give him. Okay. So that's objective 16. Okay, involving a tip. Now the reason I'm putting these two together is because objective 17 is applying a sales tax to a purchase. And just like a tip, sales tax is added to the total. Now a tip is optional, and you get to kind of choose the percentage. So the difference here is a sales tax isn't optional. They're going to charge you it, and there's a certain amount they have to charge. So let's go through. You're going to see a lot of similarities in here. We'll just talk about making sure how you read the problem correctly, but a lot of these problems are going to be very similar to the ones we just did. So number 45, they're going to buy a sweater. The sweater costs $20, but there was also a sales tax of 9%. How much does it cost? Okay, so here's the total, $20. You have to add on 9% of 20. So 9%, you move over to the decimal twice, it's 0.09 times the original 20. So again, you see the same number that you put here, that total is also the number here. Okay, order operations say you have to multiply these first. So 0.09 times 20 is $1.80. So that is the amount of the tax. Okay, but the question is how much does it cost? So we add the $20 that it costs plus the $1.80 tax, you get $21.80. Okay, 46. There's just one extra step involved here. They're going to buy tennis shoes and a new racket. The shoes cost $38. The racket costs $48, and there is a 2.5% tax. Okay, and this tax is going to go on both things. So there's actually two ways you could do this. I think the easiest way is do what's called the subtotal first. Okay, because both of these things will have the tax on them, you can add them together. So the 38 and the 48 is 86. Now you're going to have 2.5% tax on there. So we have the $86. Now remember, 2.5%, make sure we do this right. If we change that to a decimal, you start where the decimal is and you move it to the left twice. 1, 2, any open spot you put a 0, so that's 0.025. Okay, again, times that subtotal of 86. Order operations, so you multiply first, so you multiply those, it's $2.15. Add that to the regular 86, answer is 88.15. 47, they're going to buy a garden tiller. Advertised price is $239. The actual cost will be higher because there's a 4.6% sales tax. How much is the cost? So this is very similar to what we just did above. Here's the regular price. Again, 4.6%. Move it twice. 1, 2. Got to put a 0 in the open spot. So 4.6 is 0.046 as a decimal. We have to take that times the regular price. When you multiply that, you get 10.994. Before I round, I'm going to add it to the regular price. I'm going to get $249.994. So to round, we have to round to this spot, but we look at the number next to it. Okay. Now with this multiple choice, you should get the right answer no matter what, but if you had to round this exact, you look here, or you have to round to this spot, you look at the next number. If this is 0 to 4, this would stay 99. if this was 5 to 9, this would bump up to the next penny, which would move it up to the next dollar and be $250. But this stays $249.99. Okay, you've seen a lot of similarities in these problems. 48, if you just look over here quick, looks a lot like what we've done in these two. So they're buying a new dishwasher. Price is $439.99. The total, what will the total cost be if the new dishwasher, if they have a 5.6% sales tax? So again, we move the decimal twice. So the percent is 0.056. Regular price is $439.99. We add that 5.6% of the $439.99. Again, just like all these problems above, the same number that's here is here. Okay. Order operations, multiply this first. And we get a longer decimal here. It's 24.63944. We add that together to the original price. We're going to get $464.629 something 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 something. So I only need to write these because to round it, I round to here. I have to look at this number. Okay. So because that's a 9, this has to bump up to 63. So the answer is $464.63. Okay. I've got 2 more problems, and then we'll be done. Number 49. There's just 2 things going on here, so we got to make sure. They're shopping for school supplies. At one store, they bought 3 glue sticks that cost $2.39 each, so that's going to be important. They also bought 5 pairs of scissors that cost $1.99 each. If there's 4% sales tax was added to the cost of the items, what is the total cost? Okay, so there's first step we got to do is find the actual regular price of the items. So the glue sticks, the key here is they bought 3 of them at $2.39. So 3 times $2.39, those cost $7.17. The scissors were $1.99 in each, but they bought 5 of them. So 5 times $1.99 is $9.95. So now we add those two together, $7.17 and $9.95 is $17.12. So that is the regular amount they have to pay. Now it's just like a problem we just done in the last couple problems. Regular price here, there's a 4% tax, so that's 0.04 times that $17.12. Okay, so order operations, we multiply these first. We get 0.6848 is the amount of the tax. We add that to the $17.12, so we get 17.8048. We're rounding to this spot, looking at this number here. So the 4 keeps that 0 there, doesn't bump it up, keeps it there. So $17.80 is your answer. Okay. Last problem, number 50. It says he has a gift card for $40 at a bookstore. He has picked out books that cost $36.95 plus sales tax. The sales tax is 3.9%. What is the total cost of the books? So when you first read this problem, it looks like the $40 is going to be important. But when you read the question, it just says the books cost this much, there's this much tax, what's the cost? Okay. If they would have said how much will he have left on his gift card, then the $40 would matter. But in this problem, what they're asking, this 40 means nothing, so you don't need it. So again, just like all the other problems, we start with the cost. We got to add the percent of that cost. So the percent here is 3.9. So again, we move that over twice. So we get 0.039 times the regular price. Okay, so order operations, we multiply these first. When you take 0.039 times 36.95, you get 1.44105. Okay, so that's the amount of the tax. We add that to the regular price of $36.95. We get 38.39105. So again, money goes 2 spots past decimal, so we got to round to there. Means we're going to look at the number next to it. That 1 means this 9 will stay, and so we get $38.39. So there's objectives 16 and 17 together because they're very, very similar. If there's any questions, let me know. Those would not be in the required money workbook. Those would be, the practice ones for those are in the extra credit money workbook, because originally those were just going to be extra credit. If you're looking at this fourth quarter of 2020, I'm giving you the option of this counting as one of your regular tests. So this was a review of what we did earlier in the year. So if you want to practice them, you go to your extra credit workbook and look for 16 and 17, do a couple practice, ask me questions if you have questions, and then go ahead and take that test. I think if you decide to take that test, it would be probably the easiest test that you would do this quarter, because we've already looked at these problems this year. So this is kind of a review. Okay, again, if you have any questions, let me know.